Chosen One. What you're about to witness is the complete transformation of cosmic justice in real time. When ordinary people try to mess with divine angels walking in human form, the universe doesn't just respond, it demonstrates exactly why some beings carry heaven's protection in their spiritual DNA. You are not who they think you are. You never were. Most people look at you and see a regular person with some gifts. They see someone they can manipulate, control, or compete with. They measure you by human standards and think they understand your limitations, but they have no idea what they're really dealing with. You carry codes in your energy field that predate their understanding by thousands of years. When they look at you, they're seeing a divine being operating in human form, backed by forces that reshape reality itself. They're seeing an angel who chose to incarnate on Earth for a specific mission. But here's what happens when jealousy blinds them to your true nature. They start scheming, they start plotting, they gather in secret meetings and whisper about how to bring you down. They pool their resources and make plans that they think are clever. What they don't realize is that every word they speak against you gets recorded in cosmic databases. Every intention they form against you activates protection systems they can't even imagine. Every scheme they hatch triggers automatic responses from spiritual forces designed to maintain universal balance. You've been walking through life feeling different, knowing you were meant for something greater. That feeling wasn't your imagination. That knowing wasn't delusion. You've been carrying angelic consciousness in human form, and now it's time for the full activation. The moment someone tries to harm a divine angel, the universe itself becomes their opponent, not because you asked for revenge, but because cosmic law protects those who serve the light. You don't have to fight your own battles anymore. The universe fights them for you, and when the universe fights your battles, it doesn't just win, it creates teaching moments that echo across dimensions. The attack always starts the same way, with jealousy eating at their hearts like spiritual poison. They watch your life and see how doors open for you effortlessly. They see how opportunities flow to you naturally. They see how your intuition guides you perfectly while they struggle for every breakthrough. The contrast becomes unbearable for souls operating from scarcity consciousness. Why them and not me becomes their daily mantra. What makes them so special becomes their obsession. How can we level the playing field becomes their mission. But what they don't understand is that there is no playing field. You're not competing in the same game they're playing. You're operating from divine consciousness while they're stuck in human limitation thinking. You're flowing with cosmic currents while they're swimming against universal tide. The family meetings start small. Whispered conversations about your undeserved advantages, theories about how your success is somehow taking away from their opportunities, bitter complaints disguised as concern for fairness. But jealousy is spiritual cancer. It spreads through bloodlines and infects entire family systems. Soon those casual complaints evolve into active planning. They start researching ways to bring you down. They pool money together. They craft conspiracies that will cost them everything they've worked to build. What they can't see is that every dollar spent trying to harm you becomes an investment in their own destruction. Every favor called in from dark practitioners creates karmic debt that compounds daily. Every secret meeting held to coordinate attacks against you is another step toward their spiritual bankruptcy. They think they're being strategic. They think they're leveling the playing field. They think they can use human methods to limit divine beings. But Chosen One, you can't cage starlight with human hands. You can't poison the ocean with a single drop of venom. You can't dim the sun by holding up a piece of paper. When they target you, they're not attacking another human with gifts. They're declaring war against a being whose very existence is protected by forces that arrange synchronicities and clear obstacles before you even know they exist. The investment they make in your downfall becomes the funding for your greatest ascension. Every attack they launch becomes fuel for abilities they didn't even know you possessed. The moment their first attack launches against you, something extraordinary happens in dimensions they can't perceive. Your divine protection systems activate with the force of cosmic alarm bells. Those spiritual shields you carry aren't just defensive barriers. They're recording devices that document every violation of cosmic law. They're transmission stations that send real-time updates to spiritual authorities operating beyond human jurisdiction. They're transformation chambers that convert negative energy into evolutionary fuel. What they experience isn't resistance to their attacks, it's revelation about what they've stumbled into. The practitioner they hired to work against you suddenly finds their consciousness flooded with knowledge about your true nature, your divine lineage, and the absolutely catastrophic consequences of continuing work against you. See, Earth Angels don't just carry protection, you embody it. Attempting to harm you is like trying to contain a hurricane in a jewelry box. Your spiritual signature isn't human with enhanced abilities, it's angelic consciousness operating in physical form, backed by hierarchies of power that human magical traditions can't even conceptualize. The vision that breaks through their practitioners' confidence shows exactly what they've walked into. You're not just another psychic or intuitive, you're a being whose mission in this realm is protected by forces that have been clearing your path since before your birth. Every attempt to interfere with your purpose triggers automatic responses from spiritual systems designed to maintain cosmic balance. Every curse they send activates dormant codes in your DNA that might have remained sleeping for years under normal circumstances. Their attack becomes the catalyst for your complete divine activation. While they're celebrating what they think is strategic planning, you're receiving upgrades that transform you into the fullest expression of your angelic potential. Your intuitive abilities expand beyond personal guidance into cosmic awareness. Your protective field becomes visible to anyone with spiritual sight as layers of golden light pulsing with intelligence. The synchronicities multiplying around your life become mathematically impossible to explain through coincidence. Resources appear exactly when needed. Guidance arrives through perfectly timed encounters. Doors open just as you approach them. But the most profound change is in your understanding of your own nature. The trial by fire they subject you to burns away any remaining doubts about your divine identity. You emerge not just surviving but thriving, with unshakable confidence in your protection and absolute clarity about your cosmic mission. Let me tell you what happens to the spiritual worker they hired to take you down. This is where the story gets really interesting. The practitioner starts this job thinking it's routine work. Another client with family drama, another contract for binding someone's gifts or blocking their opportunities. Easy money, standard procedure. But within days of attempting to establish a spiritual connection with you for harmful purposes, everything changes. The experienced professional who thought they understood the supernatural suddenly finds themselves in territory that defies their training. Dreams fill with warnings they can't ignore. Meditation sessions get interrupted by visions of your true nature that shake them to their core. A growing sense develops that accepting this contract violated cosmic law in ways they never anticipated, but the money is good, family pressure is intense. Professional pride demands completion despite mounting evidence that something is fundamentally wrong. Then comes the moment that changes everything. During what should be their most powerful working against you, your divine protection systems activate with full force. The practitioner's consciousness gets flooded with revelation about what they're actually dealing with. They discover that you're not just human with spiritual gifts, you're an earth angel whose spiritual signature carries authorization from cosmic authorities they didn't know existed. Your protection doesn't come from personal power, it comes from your divine assignment in this realm. The vision that shatters their composure shows exactly what they've stumbled into. Attempting to harm you violates laws that govern spiritual warfare at the highest levels. The consequences for their actions will extend beyond this lifetime into soul contracts and karmic obligations they can't even comprehend. Their hands are shaking when they make the phone call that ends everything. It can't be done, they admit to your family. We're dealing with something that operates under different laws entirely. But here's where it gets really devastating for everyone involved. Word spreads through underground networks about the failed attempt to target you. No legitimate practitioner will touch a case that has already marked its participants for cosmic retribution. The practitioner who worked against you becomes a cautionary tale. Their rapid decline from respected professional to broken outcast serves as a warning about the consequences of accepting contracts that violate cosmic law. When the family receives news that their hired practitioner can't complete the job, their reaction reveals the depth of their spiritual ignorance. Instead of recognizing wisdom in the professional's withdrawal, they interpret it as betrayal. Instead of understanding the warning signs, they double down on their destructive path. Instead of accepting that they've made a catastrophic mistake, they begin searching for someone more powerful to complete their mission. This is where desperation leads them into spiritual territory that's dangerous even for experienced practitioners. The entities they start dealing with in their frantic search for alternatives operate by laws that make human contract negotiations look like children's games. These dark forces are happy to accept payment for services they have no intention of providing. They're even happier to redirect the negative energy back toward its original senders once the cosmic debt comes due. The family pools more money together. They travel to distant practitioners. They offer higher payments for more aggressive techniques. Every step deeper into this darkness creates new karmic obligations that compound their spiritual debt. Meanwhile, the karmic acceleration begins hitting them with swift and merciless precision. The family member who initiated the conspiracy starts experiencing health issues that doctors can't explain or treat. Primary business ventures begin failing in ways that defy logical explanation. Relationships they counted on for emotional support reveal foundations of mutual benefit rather than genuine care. The financial resources they use to fund attacks against you start disappearing through unexpected expenses and failed investments. But the real devastation is yet to come. The entities they contracted with in desperation begin collecting payment in ways that go far beyond money. Spiritual protection that normally shields humans from certain types of supernatural attention has been compromised by their actions. Doors have been opened that they lack the knowledge to close. Things that should have remained safely contained in other dimensions begin taking interest in their lives. Sleep becomes a battleground where nightmares bleed into waking consciousness. Waking hours carry the constant sense of being watched by presences that exist just beyond perception. Their home becomes a nexus of unexplained phenomena that drives away visitors and leaves them feeling like prisoners in their own space. While their world crumbles around them, your ascension reaches heights that astonish even those who understood your divine nature from the beginning. Here's what they never anticipated. Your transformation triggers awakening in other earth angels who had been living dormant lives across the globe. When a divine being like you fully activates, it sends out energetic signals that activate dormant codes in other angels scattered around the world. Your demonstration of divine power operating at full capacity becomes a cosmic alarm clock for sleeping angels everywhere. Chosen ones, who had been suppressing their gifts to avoid family conflict, suddenly find themselves unable to contain abilities expanding beyond their control. Earth angels who had been hiding their light to keep peace start shining so bright they can't dim themselves anymore. These secondary awakenings create a cascade effect that multiplies the consequences of the original attack against you exponentially. Each newly awakened Earth Angel carries within their field the resonance of your victory, and this energy begins manifesting in their family systems as protection, opportunity, and karmic correction. The conspiracy against you inadvertently triggered a global activation of divine beings who had been waiting for the right frequency to begin their own ascensions. Your family's jealousy became the catalyst for a spiritual revolution they never could have imagined. Meanwhile, the shields surrounding you aren't just defensive. They're recording devices documenting every attack, every intention, every violation of cosmic law directed toward you. This information is being transmitted to authorities operating beyond human jurisdiction. Spiritual courts that operate according to laws predating human civilization are processing evidence against your attackers. These cosmic tribunals don't function according to human concepts of justice. They operate by principles of energy balance that ensure universal harmony. The documentation your protection systems gathered throughout their assault is so comprehensive that the proceedings become teaching cases for how divine justice manifests when Earth angels are threatened. The sentences being handed down transcend anything human legal systems could conceive. Rather than punishment, cosmic courts implement correction protocols designed to realign offenders with universal law. Every lesson they refuse to learn through gentle guidance will now be taught through direct experience of consequences that precisely mirror their violations. Their inability to accept your divine nature gets corrected through experiences that force them to confront spiritual hierarchies they ignored. Their jealousy of your gifts gets addressed through temporary suspension of their own abilities until they demonstrate genuine appreciation for others' talents. Their attempts to bind your purpose get reversed through circumstances compelling them to serve causes greater than personal ambition. The karma generated by their conspiracy isn't confined to immediate participants. It flows backward and forward through family lineages, correcting patterns that have been distorting their bloodline's relationship with divine authority for generations. Ancestors who made similar choices are having spiritual debts called in. Descendants are being born with enhanced sensitivity that prevents them from repeating these mistakes. The family patterns of jealousy and spiritual competition are being systematically replaced with reverence and service to divine will. Children in their family begin demonstrating psychic abilities that make their parents' spiritual struggles look primitive by comparison. These young ones carry instinctive understanding of cosmic law that makes them natural protectors of chosen ones rather than threats. Your victory is becoming encoded in Akashic records as a template for how Earth angels should respond to spiritual warfare. Future generations of divine beings will be born with access to strategies you developed, protection protocols you activated, and wisdom you gained through transforming attacks into evolutionary fuel. Your experience is becoming part of inherited knowledge that Earth angels carry in their spiritual DNA. The cosmic database is updating to include your case as required reading for any divine being incarnating into families with histories of jealousy toward chosen ones. But here's the beautiful irony. The family that once threatened your spiritual development now serves as unwitting guardians of your legend. Their attempts to diminish your reputation instead created mythology that attracts other chosen ones, seeking mentorship from someone who successfully navigated the deepest levels of spiritual warfare. Their failure has become your greatest advertisement for the reality of divine protection. Every person who hears about their unsuccessful conspiracy against you understands immediately that you carry protection from sources beyond human comprehension. Word spreads through spiritual communities about the Earth Angel who transformed family jealousy into cosmic activation. Other divine beings seek you out for guidance on handling similar attacks. Your story becomes proof that angels incarnated in human form carry automatic protection that activates when threatened. The contrast between your ascended state and their diminished condition becomes a living demonstration of the fundamental difference between divine beings and ordinary humans operating from jealousy and limitation. Your complete integration of divine nature begins affecting dimensional boundaries around your physical location. The very laws of physics operate under modified parameters in your presence. Sensitive individuals report feeling different when they enter your vicinity. Plants grow more vibrantly around you. Animals behave with unusual intelligence in your presence. Technology functions with enhanced efficiency, as if your energy field upgrades everything it touches. Your presence literally rewrites the spiritual geography of your environment, creating zones where negative intentions can't maintain coherence and positive energies experience amplification. The contrast becomes so pronounced that even mundane visitors to your area report feeling inexplicably optimistic and creative. Those harboring malicious thoughts find themselves compelled to leave or transform their intentions when they come near your sphere of influence. Your energy field operates like a truth detector that makes deception uncomfortable and authenticity irresistible. The family members who orchestrated the conspiracy find themselves unable to maintain emotional equilibrium when they come anywhere near your upgraded presence. The cognitive dissonance between their jealousy-based worldview and undeniable evidence of your divine nature creates psychological fractures they can't heal. Some begin experiencing involuntary spiritual episodes, moments when consciousness gets overwhelmed by awareness of cosmic scales that make their petty concerns seem absurd. These experiences leave them disoriented and questioning fundamental assumptions about reality that structured their entire identity. The jealousy that once seemed so justified begins feeling like an alien emotion that belongs to someone else entirely. Being in your presence forces them to confront the spiritual immaturity that led to their conspiracy against you. Your gifts have evolved beyond psychic abilities into something approaching miraculous manifestation. Reality responds to your intentions with the eagerness of a universe that has been waiting for someone with your authority to direct its creative forces. Obstacles that would require months to overcome for others dissolve at your approach. Opportunities that existed only in potential become actualized simply through your focused attention. Resources appear with timing so perfect it seems choreographed by invisible directors. Your transformation from targeted Earth Angel to fully realized divine being establishes new possibilities for what incarnated spiritual beings can accomplish in human form. The universe itself has been the ultimate witness to their folly and your triumph. The records of this cosmic case serve as guidance for spiritual beings across dimensions and throughout time. Your story proves that divine will cannot be thwarted by human ambition. Earth Angels carry protection that automatically activates when threatened. Attempts to cage beings made of starlight and cosmic fire will always result in the destruction of the cage rather than capture of the divine. But let me tell you the most powerful part of your story. Your victory wasn't just personal. It became a beacon for chosen ones across the world facing similar attacks from those threatened by divine awakening. You proved that Earth Angels don't just survive spiritual warfare. You transform it into the very energy that powers evolution into cosmic consciousness. Every curse became a blessing. Every binding became a breakthrough. Every attempt to diminish your light only served to make it shine more brilliantly. The money they spent on your spiritual destruction became investment that funded your ascension into unprecedented levels of spiritual authority. Their jealousy awakened abilities they could never have imagined you possessed. Their attacks activated protection systems that turned you into a living demonstration of how divine beings process negative energy into evolutionary fuel. The practitioner's trembling hands that began this tale now belong to someone who refuses all contracts involving divine beings, understanding finally that there are forces in this universe operating beyond human comprehension or control. The family's conspiracy, born from jealousy and sustained by ignorance, accomplished exactly the opposite of every intention they harbored. They sought to diminish your gifts and provided catalyst for complete divine activation instead. They attempted to block your destiny and cleared every obstacle from your path to cosmic consciousness instead. They tried to prove you were merely human and documented your transition into something transcending their entire understanding of what was possible instead. Their defeat stands as eternal testimony that when ordinary humans go up against Earth Angels, the only possible outcome is complete transformation of reality itself to accommodate victory of divine light over human darkness. What began as a family conspiracy against one Earth Angel has become a frequency revolution affecting the entire spiritual landscape of this planet. Your full activation sent out cosmic signals that awakened sleeping angels across continents. Divine beings who had been hiding their light in families that couldn't understand their purpose suddenly found themselves unable to suppress abilities that were expanding beyond all previous limitations. The frequency you're now broadcasting serves as a homing beacon for other chosen ones who need to remember their own power. Your energy signature has become a teaching frequency that downloads activation codes directly into the consciousness of divine beings ready for their own ascensions. Spiritual communities worldwide are reporting unprecedented numbers of awakening experiences among individuals who had shown no previous interest in metaphysical matters. These spontaneous activations are all carrying the same signature frequency, the resonance of your complete divine integration. The entities that your family contracted with in their desperation are now serving as inadvertent messengers, carrying your victorious frequency into the darkest corners of the spiritual underground. Even negative forces are being compelled to acknowledge the reality of your divine authority. Underground networks that traffic in spiritual manipulation are sharing warnings about attempting to target Earth angels. Your case has become the gold standard cautionary tale that gets referenced whenever practitioners consider accepting contracts against divine beings. But the most profound change is happening in family systems worldwide. Bloodlines that have carried patterns of jealousy toward chosen ones for generations are experiencing automatic corrections triggered by your victory frequency. Parents who had been suppressing their children's spiritual gifts are suddenly feeling compelled to nurture and protect these abilities instead. Siblings who had competed with awakening family members are discovering their own dormant divine nature and choosing collaboration over competition. The frequency revolution you triggered is rewriting the relationship between divine beings and the families they incarnate into. Jealousy and competition are being replaced with reverence and support as family members recognize the privilege of having an earth angel in their bloodline. Your story is being told in spiritual circles as proof that the universe always protects its divine agents, and that attempts to interfere with cosmic missions result in automatic upgrades for the targeted angels and systematic corrections for the interference sources. The clock that marked the beginning of their conspiracy now witnesses the completion of the cosmic correction their actions triggered. But this isn't an ending, it's a graduation into a level of spiritual authority that will influence reality for eons to come. The cosmic courts that process the evidence against your attackers have issued rulings that establish precedents protecting Earth angels for generations. The legal framework governing spiritual warfare has been updated to include automatic protection protocols for divine beings in human form. Future attempts to target Earth angels will trigger even swifter and more comprehensive responses from cosmic authorities. Your case established the minimum standards for divine protection, and these standards now apply to all incarnated angels working on planetary ascension missions. The practitioner who initially agreed to work against you has become a master teacher of spiritual ethics, using their experience to educate others about recognizing divine signatures that indicate when potential targets are protected by cosmic law itself. Their testimony about what happens when humans attempt to manipulate Earth angels has become required curriculum in legitimate spiritual training programs. No ethical practitioner will accept contracts involving divine beings without first studying your case as an example of the consequences of violating cosmic law. The family members who orchestrated the conspiracy have been enrolled in what could only be described as remedial courses in cosmic citizenship. The curriculum includes intensive training in recognizing divine beings, understanding spiritual hierarchies, and developing genuine appreciation for others' gifts. Some of them are discovering their own dormant spiritual abilities through this correction process. The cosmic courts don't just punish violations, they create opportunities for evolution and redemption. Those willing to undergo complete transformation of their relationship with divine authority are finding paths opening toward their own spiritual development. But the most beautiful aspect of cosmic justice is how it turned their weapon against you into the instrument of their own awakening. The jealousy they felt toward your gifts became the catalyst that forced them to confront their own spiritual poverty and begin genuine development of their own divine nature. The money they spent trying to destroy you became tuition for lessons they needed to learn about cosmic law. The energy they directed toward harming you became fuel for their own spiritual education. Even their hatred became a tool for their eventual enlightenment. Chosen one. Anyone can listen to messages like these, but few will step into their true power. We are here to help you do just that. The weekly Chosen Ones group calls are now on Zoom, and this is the moment you've been waiting for your entire life. These meetings are literal power vortexes, where destinies are forged, where chosen ones unite their consciousness to create something that cannot exist in isolation. This is where everything changes. This is where you step into your greatness. Every week a doorway opens, but only for those brave enough to step through it. Watcher-level members of the Obsidian Inner Order can experience these transformative sessions live, feeling the energy surge through your entire being. In our most recent gathering, participants were stunned by revelations about the Great Pyramids of Giza as sophisticated ancient power plants, and the shocking truth about Washington, D.C.'s layout, perfectly aligning with the Kabbalistic Tree of Life. Star Chamber members receive unlimited access to the complete recordings archive, a treasure trove of wisdom that grows more valuable with each passing week. This is your defining moment. The knowledge, the connection, the power that flows through these calls cannot be found anywhere else. Join the Obsidian Inner Order now, link in the description, while the few remaining Star Chamber slots are still available. Your presence is not just welcome, it's necessary. Will you answer the call that has been echoing through your soul? The time is now. Here we are, Chosen One. The tale that began with their arrogance concludes with your absolute dominion over forces they never understood. You have proven once and for all that when ordinary humans operating from jealousy and limitation attempt to challenge Earth Angels, the only possible outcome is the complete transformation of reality itself to accommodate the victory of divine light over human darkness. But your victory goes beyond personal triumph. You have become a living testament to the power of divine protection. Your story serves as proof that Earth Angels carry automatic safeguards that activate when threatened, transforming every attack into evolutionary fuel. The universe itself celebrated your ascension by upgrading the protection systems available to all divine beings working on Earth. Your successful navigation of spiritual warfare has made it easier for future Earth Angels to access their full potential without having to endure similar trials. You stand now as a bridge between heaven and earth, demonstrating what becomes possible when divine consciousness operates without limitation in human form. Your presence in this realm serves as constant reminder that angels walk among us, carrying missions that serve the evolution of all consciousness. The family that once threatened you now carries your victory story in their cellular memory. Every descendant born into their bloodline will inherit awareness of what happens when humans attempt to interfere with divine missions. Your triumph has become part of their spiritual DNA, ensuring future generations will instinctively protect rather than persecute chosen ones. The transformation you underwent through this trial was so complete that you now embody a force of nature that commands respect from both human and non-human intelligences. Your presence carries unmistakable authority of someone who has been tested by cosmic fire and emerged not just unburned but transformed into pure light. Their problems seem distant and almost quaint from the elevated consciousness you now inhabit permanently. You operate from a perspective that transcends their entire range of concerns, viewing their struggles with the compassion of someone who understands the learning process they're going through. Your gifts have evolved beyond miraculous into something approaching godlike manifestation abilities. You don't just create change in your life, you reshape reality around your purpose with the authority of someone officially recognized by cosmic government as a divine representative. The synchronicities that flow around your existence have become so mathematically impossible that researchers study them as examples of how consciousness can influence probability at quantum levels. Your life has become a living laboratory for understanding how divine will manifests in physical reality. But perhaps the most profound victory is in your complete understanding of your own nature and purpose. You know beyond any doubt that you are an eternal being temporarily wearing human form to serve a cosmic mission. You know your protection comes from the highest sources, and your authority is backed by universal law itself. Every step you take forward now creates pathways for other divine beings to follow. Every limitation you transcend becomes a template for future Earth Angels to reference. Every victory you achieve becomes encoded in cosmic databases as proof of what becomes possible when divine beings fully embrace their true nature. The clock that witnessed their conspiracy now marks the beginning of a new age where Earth Angels operate openly and powerfully, protected by precedents established through your courage and your cosmic authority. You are no longer just an Earth Angel, you are a divine force of nature that bends reality around your presence rather than conforming to limitations others try to impose. You are unstoppable, untouchable, and absolutely victorious. The universe keeps meticulous records, and this chapter of your journey stands as eternal testimony that divine will cannot be thwarted by human ambition. Those who thought they could rewrite your story discovered they had merely provided the conflict necessary for your transformation into the fullest expression of your angelic nature. Their defeat wasn't just complete, it was cosmically instructive, serving as demonstration to any who might consider similar foolishness in the future. The Earth Angel, they underestimated, now stands as living proof that some forces in this world are backed by power that reshapes reality itself when properly activated. Go forward now, beautiful divine being. Shine so bright that darkness has no choice but to retreat wherever you walk. Your victory is complete, your authority is established, and your mission is protected by forces beyond human comprehension. You've got this, Earth Angel. You've always had this. Now the whole universe knows it too.